This latest series of crackdowns in China centers on a letter that was published online on a Chinese state media website. Now, though it was quickly taken down, the letter strongly criticizes Chinese President Xi Jinping on numerous fronts, including his handling of the economy and his style of diplomacy. Now, the letter was written anonymously, signed only, quote, loyal Communist Party members, and since then, Chinese authorities have tried to figure out who wrote the letter in the first place. Chinese human rights activist Wen Yunqiao, living in exile right now in New York City, says although he had nothing to do with the letter, the government thinks that he helped spread the post online. He says he didn't, but that the government is trying to intimidate him anyway by targeting his family that still lives in China. He says his mother, father, and brother have not been heard from since last week and thinks they have been detained by Chinese authorities.
I believe that they are trying to put pressure on me by taking my parents and brother away, forcing me to cooperate with them and offer the information they need, or to get me to directly admit that I participated in disseminating the open letter.
He claims no knowledge of who wrote the letter, but says as a political activist, the reality is that he expects some form of pressure from the Chinese government fairly regularly. He says, though, this latest step of detaining his family is surprising and very unusual.
It's been common in the past for relatives of activists and dissidents in China to be harassed, but it's rare for family members to be forced to disappear without a reason. I think it reveals that China perhaps is stepping up on crackdowns on human rights, and the persecutions are getting more unscrupulous.
In a similar incident, a Chinese journalist, Jiang Ping, living in Germany right now, says his family was also detained in a way to pressure him over an article he wrote on the same subject. Also, prominent Chinese journalist Jia Jia was detained by police in mid-March. His lawyer denied he had anything to do with writing or posting the letter, and the journalist has since been released, though he is not commenting on the reason behind his detention. These latest high-profile crackdowns appear to be a part of President Xi Jinping's battle for complete control over any and all media in China. He recently visited state news agency Xinhua, speaking about the importance of all Chinese media promoting the values of the Communist Party by acting as its mouthpiece. This letter, though, is a direct attack on that policy, and this crackdown is seen by many observers as a clear example of how far Xi Jinping is willing to go to make sure media toe the line. Matt Rivers, CNN, Beijing.